Hey guys, it's Bobby here with a quick little update before you watch the 26th episode of the Come Play podcast. So I just want to let you guys know this was our first ever live streamed episode of the Come Play podcast. So yes, episode 26 was live streamed via Twitch, and we had chat on and everything was done live. So that's where you're going to hear the full live episode. But why I'm making this intro is just to apologize in advance if you hear any audio, technical, weird stuff that happens. I heard some warbling when I was listening back to this, and some volume issues happened during the show, and whatever. It's our first time doing it live, so please forgive us. But going forward, the plan is to have all of our future episodes live streamed, and then the replay uploaded to YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcasts, like Spotify, Apple, Google, or wherever, the following night. So that's what you're going to hear now. Again, please forgive us for any of the technical difficulties that we had during this episode. Hopefully we can have them smoothed out by next week. But otherwise, yeah, enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 26 of the Come Play podcast. A special one for us because this will be the first podcast that we are doing live.
It's live, boys.
We'll do it live.
So we're kind of trying out some things here. We've always wanted to go live and have a live chat, and obviously we're still growing here, and it's going to take some time, but we're kind of testing it out, and yeah, our first ever live podcast should be exciting. Also, a little bit of changes to our regular programming, I guess. We before on our previous podcast, we go down through a rundown and then get to our big topics. And quite frankly, it just took way too absolutely goddamn long. We are kind of reducing the podcast here, talking about some more stuff that we can, get into, long discussions about and really talk about. So, we're kind of just testing things out here, but this is the first live one, and hopefully it works out and we can continue doing this. But I am here, if you didn't hear already, with Bobby and Brendy. Zach is not with us today. He's in Denver.
No one
week.
knows why.
Denver? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. He just kind of went. I
Just took off, huh?
seen he was at the Coors Brewery, of course, and that's our boy. So I hope he's enjoying himself. But we decided that we were going to do the podcast this week, and like I said, do it live. So with that all being said, let's get into our show this week. So this week we have two big topics we do want to talk about, and then of course we're going to have, in case you missed it, the first one being the NBA Finals that is going on right now, and then after later in the show we will talk about Modern Warfare and the next Call of Duty rather that'll be coming out. So let's start with the NBA Finals. This is, for me, this NBA Finals is there's so many storylines. Like, every year you have storylines, of course, but this year it's a lot different. There's a lot of stuff going on off the court, maybe more than on the court. If that makes sense. Obviously, like with Drake and stuff like that, but every year it's all about LeBron being in the finals and blah blah. Well, this year he's not there, and it's been, just like I said, full of storylines. So yeah, so kind of go rundown of the series real quick. The first game, Toronto won. Game 118 to 109. Siakam had an amazing game, 32 points and was 14 to 17. Kind of came out of nowhere there, and he's been a great player for them this year. And then in the second game of the series, Golden State came back and won by 5 on Andre Iguodala's cold-blooded three. Who Iguodala was, when he was on the Sixers, he was one of my favorite players, and like back then I really didn't watch basketball that much, but for some reason, like I just loved Iggy, and it like sucked when he left. But I'm glad that he's done some amazing things.
He
Things
does
for the
have a Finals
organization.
MVP in his belt.
Yeah, I mean he's done some amazing things for them. So I'm really happy to see him flourish. And then in Game 3, the last game, with Clay out and obviously Durant. Toronto takes it 123 to 109. So yeah, rundown of what happened there. Game 4 is tonight, June 7th. It's going to be on probably after we're done recording, and we'll kind of see if Toronto takes a stranglehold or if Golden State ties it up. So yeah, I think, like I said, it's been a series of storylines and just interesting things. So of course, I'm gonna start here because I just want to kind of get it off, right away. How do you guys feel about the whole Drake sideline antics stuff? I mean, you can even answer throughout the playoffs. Obviously, last series with Milwaukee was a big thing, and then this series.
Okay, so just a couple quick questions I have for you, because
Yeah.
like I know like people were saying like Drake was like kind of like getting in their faces and like being all out. So like, what exactly was he doing that people didn't like?
Well, I think he was just being like, I don't want to say over the top because that's not the right word. Like he was just basically being himself. He's a passionate fan. I mean, obviously, even before this year, he's always been a fan of them. And
So basically he was just being like a really loud fan.
I guess people thought he was being obnoxious. Is
Well,
what people had the problem with.
Well, Drake is an obnoxious person, but if he's just being a fan, like I don't necessarily see it. Now, like if he's like if some guy's like trying to inbound the ball and he's like yelling in his ear or something like that, like I might have a problem with that.
Well, I think that was the other thing. Now, don't quote me on this, but I think that was possibly another thing too, that he was, he will trash talk the players. I mean, we even seen at the start of this series, like him and Draymond were getting into it after
I saw
the game.
that.
So, like, I think he's talking a lot of trash during the game, and maybe that's why. I think it's just, honestly, I think it's just people see him on the sidelines being like up in the faces, up on the sideline and being loud and talking to the players, and maybe that's what the problem is for people. I don't know what he's saying or what, but yeah, that seems to be that honestly, like after the first game of the series and last series, like that was the probably biggest talking point, which was dumb because it was kind of taken away from the basketball. But yeah, I mean, everybody's talking about, oh, Drake is on the sideline and this and that, and
You know why this is a story is
yeah.
because it's Drake.
That's
the only reason.
To an extent, yes.
That's the main reason. If there was some, guy who was a no-name who just, is sitting on the sideline and chirping and doing what Drake's been doing this whole time, it's not a story. I'm telling you right now. It may be like every once in a while, or like maybe one night ESPN article, like, look at this asshole on the sideline. But besides that, the only reason it's a story every single fucking game is because it's Drake. It's the only reason.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think if you get somebody as popular as Drake, and like, Drake has a very big following, of course. Like a lot of people like him, but I think a lot of people love to hate him too. So I think that's another reason. I think people almost maybe want to look for a reason to hate him, and this is kind of the thing. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it was such a big, such a big deal, and people are making a big deal out of it, and of course, like I said, the whole Draymond and I seen a clip with I think it was after game 2. KD went to the tunnel to basically congratulate his team coming in, and Drake walked by and he was like, "See you in the Bay, Aubrey," or something like that, because obviously Drake's real name is Aubrey. And yeah, so it's just kind of been a back and forth. So I mean, based on that and based on the confrontation between him and Draymond, I'm assuming he's saying stuff to players. To what extent, I don't know, but I'm sure he's talking a lot of trash. So, but yeah, a lot of people seem to have problems with that. Speaking of KD, Um, well, let's actually kind of switch to game 3 here, the last game of the series, because I want to talk about something that I think everybody in like every Instagram post comment section I seen was like, this is what they said. So obviously Steph went off last game, and kind of everybody, he carried that. He carried them.
47 points, right?
47, 7, and 8.
Jesus,
Yeah, he
dude.
carried them last night or the other night, and a lot of people were like comparing it to like LeBron and stuff like that. How he was carrying, he's carried teams to the finals, and the first thing obviously in the comments is like, oh yeah, like he only has, instead of 4 other all stars on the court with him, he only has 2, and DeMarcus Cousins and Draymond Green. Like, I don't, I don't know if it's like it's like in the grand scheme of things, it's not really a big deal. Because he's just out there to play. But like, what do you guys make of that conversation? Because like obviously, Clay and KD, along with Steph, are like their 3 best players. But Draymond is still an all-star, and so is Boogie. So like, are you guys, I guess, believing the whole like, oh yeah, like, you know, he carried them and he's got nobody kind of thing?
No, not really. So my thing is like, I was able to like watch a few clips of Game 3. Obviously, like we the 3 of us work a lot,
Yeah.
so we oftentimes will miss these games. But I watched a few clips of Game 3, and I was listening to I was listening to like some feedback on the radio on like what people were thinking how the game was. People were like, yeah, that game kind of sucked.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't really even close. Now Steph Curry, um, without the performance, he had an amazing performance for the people that were surrounded by him. I mean, in a way, it's kind of like Russell Westbrook in a way where he basically plays with a team of nobodies and gets triple doubles every night. But with Steph Curry, he's not necessarily known to just kind of go off like he did in Game 3. So like if he didn't have that kind of performance, like this game would have. Well, I mean, I guess if you just look at the score, like it kind of was a blowout, um, but Toronto just barely outscored Golden State in every quarter. So it could have definitely been a lot closer if Golden State did have their stars. So I don't necessarily think it's a case. I don't think Steph Curry is carrying his team to the finals. Like I think if anything, if Golden State's going to win this series, it is going to be because Steph carried them, but that would just be for this series, in my opinion.
I think we watching the Warriors play, like Steph has kind of been, he's known for the whole setting picks and having picks set for him, and it's more than just him. Like if you watch, at least this is in my opinion, you watch LeBron, it's more of him kind of isoing and back players down and whatever. With Steph, it's like the shoot, catch and shoot kind of thing, and getting open and just great passing to
Right.
have open space. Like it's not just him that's doing everything. So, um, unfortunately, right now for the Warriors, they are dealing with some injuries. I mean, obviously, when you get 2 of your best 3 guys out, but even like Looney had like he fractured. I forget what he fractured, but like he wants to play. Like it's obviously guys want to play, and Clay, like it's kind of crazy because like hamstring. I feel like groin and hamstring injuries are the most nagging injuries you can get. Like it's very just like it's always hurt. It always hurts no matter what you do. So I feel like we'll have to kind of see. Now he is expected to play in Game 4. We'll have to see like what he actually can do, mobility wise and stuff like that.
Just so you know, the injury specifically that Looney had was a coastal cartilage, which is basically a rib injury.
Oh, okay.
And it was kind of close to the collarbone, which I could imagine is probably giving him a lot of pain.
Yeah, I could imagine that too.
Can you, just for the record, do you see all the LeBron James memes out there going on right now because of Steph Curry? You seeing that?
Like what?
And by the
What I'm talking about, or-
It's not easy carrying the team, Steph, or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's what I was kind of talking about because people are like saying that.
Well,
What's
because
that?
and I really
But-
want to point this out real quick. I looked up the 2017-2018 Cleveland Cavaliers when they finished fourth, and it's not even close. Like, it's just not even close with LeBron and the rest of that squad. So I don't think those two are on the same level in terms of carrying a team.
Sorry, I just want to interrupt really quick because there is some kind of minor breaking news about the
I'm ready for
Warriors
this.
right now.
I'm ready for this.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm ready for this. Thank you.
Kevin Looney, after being ruled out for the series, Kevin Looney will play tonight. 100% confirmed.
That's funny that we were just talking about that. And
Yeah,
that
it's like we
happened,
planned it.
That's according to Bleacher Report NBA.
Yeah,
like we planned it.
for some reason I thought that I heard something like I thought something was fractured or maybe it was like cartilage that I did hear, but it sounded it sounded like something that he would not be back from is basically what I'm saying, and he's back. So
and I just want to say he was originally ruled out for the series.
Yeah. So
but I think they're kind of being a little bit desperate right now. He's definitely going to be playing at most 80%. So
dude, he's got to be on so many painkillers right now, so many,
which is gonna suck, man. He's gonna be a wreck after this series.
Oh yeah.
But the one thing I want to talk about is going along with the injuries. Like, do you guys think? Because every day with Kevin Durant, they're like, oh, we'll see if he plays, and then he's been ruled out, ever since the injury. You think the injury is worse than they're actually saying it is? Because I think I think they're saying like what, strained calf. There's no way that would keep him out for this. Like, I really think
careful. It
feels
weird.
So.
It feels weird to say that because this is the finals, but
yeah, I was about to say, like, if it was like in the playoffs, I would understand wanting to be careful, but like this is the finals, like you need to give it your all, like even if you're only playing at 80%.
Not to mention, and I don't want this to sound messed up, but like I think this is probably the truth. Like, Kevin Durant, he's probably not back on Golden State next year, so like. You would expect them to be like, yeah, you're playing, like, it's not like we're preserving you for the future here.
Is he secretly holding out?
Like,
so Tyler, where's Kevin Durant going?
We're opening this can of worms already.
Yep.
All right.
Philly. Depending on how the draft, like, if the draft went the Knicks' way, I would have said the Knicks. It's tough. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, the Knicks are the obvious team, but we just seen like the yesterday with the Brooklyn Nets that they traded Allen Crabbe away, and now they got another max slot opened up. So you got teams like them making moves. Obviously the Lakers have some assets in that fourth pick, so obviously they can move some players. But
so here's an idea, and this just happened recently. So I'm sure you're aware. I was really happy about the Atlanta Hawks trading and getting another first-round draft pick so they could potentially move up. And no, I'm not saying he's coming to Atlanta, but hear me out. So
I don't think he's coming to Atlanta, but here's why he should. Starring
no, that's not it at all. So another piece that Atlanta got in that trade was Allen Crabbe, which he's kind of an overpaid shooter, and by kind of I mean extremely.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But think about the team that he played for last season, the Brooklyn Nets. They just freed up a bunch of cap space.
Yeah, that's because like they have another slot. They have another max slot now. So
right. So that means they have the potential to go for Kevin Durant. So don't sleep on the Nets.
And also, apparently, there was a report yesterday that Kyrie is strongly considering the Nets. So I mean, if Kyrie goes there, I mean, I'm sure that entices KD to go there.
Well, I don't know if it actually does though, because doesn't Kyrie hasn't he like made it clear he kind of wants his own team?
Well, you would think he. I don't understand that. First off, because like,
What does that mean? Like wants his own, like a
like,
team that he can carry? Is that
Like
what he's
he
saying?
actually he actually seemed like he was like most happy playing in Cleveland before LeBron somehow.
Like, it's
Because
like-
he wasn't in the shadow, right?
Well, I mean, he was still like a top two
Yeah,
or three.
he's still
point
Kyrie
guard.
Irving, but he's not LeBron James.
well, but the Celtics are his team. Like,
Sure.
like it's almost like,
And on the Celtics, he's surrounded by stars, not necessarily superstars.
Right. So
Well,
he,
that's
he
what
wants
I'm-
to be the only superstar.
yeah, but so is he going to be like the first get for the Knicks so that they can start building around him? So that it's like, oh yeah, the Irving era or whatever you want to call it.
like this is what I'm saying though. Like, that doesn't make sense because like there's a difference between like he is the guy on Boston. So like, does he just want to go to a shitty team? Like, I don't understand. Like, does he just want to go to a really bad team to be the guy, or like, do you want to win a championship? Like,
Why is this all? This has been the conversation with so many players recently. Like, what is this trend that we're doing? I mean, we talked about Le'Veon Bell for weeks in the NFL about that, and look where he is now. Like, he's exactly in that position now on the Jets. So like,
Well, the Jets are. I mean, the Jets are an up and coming team, but yeah,
Yes.
no, you're right. But like,
it's such a weird
I just.
trend.
I like if that's the logic for Kyrie, like I literally don't get it because
Well, it might get him the most money though.
I think I have a name for this.
sure, but like again, there's a difference between like wanting to be the superstar and then playing on a shitty team. Like,
Is
No, I gotcha.
Is this like the Scottie Pippen effect? Like the idea that you have a great career, but no one points to you as the reason
Yeah.
for the Bulls' success?
Yeah, like when people like look back and say like Cleveland won the title, they're gonna say it's because of LeBron,
Right,
really because of Kyrie.
right. And a
Even
bunch of
though-
guys on the
even though
bench
the
who,
Kyrie shot was probably the biggest.
yeah.
but that's what I'm saying though. Like because obviously, yeah, you're right. That was actually a great reference. Like with Pippen, when you think of the Celtics, like the first guy I'm thinking of is Kyrie. Yeah, they have great players and Tatum and Hayward and Jaylen Brown and Horford, whatever. That's all good and dandy, but like Kyrie, in my opinion, is like the guy there. Like I just don't get it. I don't know.
No, I mean you're not completely wrong, but I guess it's really interesting to see like because Kyrie, like when he first started out, like I didn't think he was that kind of guy. Like I guess Kawhi Leonard's kind of the same way. Like you don't expect them to just kind of have this like weird kind of, I don't know, attitude towards them, I suppose,
Right,
of like this me first kind of thing.
right.
So
Yeah,
I mean, like it's a little offsetting, and I really think, and also I mean, it may just be all the fact that he just wants to play for a big market. Like I don't know, it could be
Yeah.
anything.
Well, I mean that's the thing too, and I can't even believe like this is kind of a thing with him and possibly the Lakers after getting away from Cleveland seemingly because like this whole thing that he wants to be the guy. And by the way, I just want to mention something to the viewers here. Like this is kind of how the podcast is going to be structured. Is we're starting off with talking about the NBA Finals, and we're going to go on a tangent. That this is kind of how it's going to be because I want to go on a tangent here, way out of left field.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
With the whole like LeBron, like there is some things that are questionable, like for tampering.
No.
Like he's like getting players. Like he was seen with Kyrie and stuff like that, which is fine and all. Like I don't know if that's necessarily tampering, but he's essentially recruiting recruiting players. Yeah.
So not only that too, but that brings up something I actually hadn't thought about in a long time. You remember Tristan Thompson and J.R. Smith? You remember how basically LeBron, forced the organization to overpay for those guys,
Right.
and now those are names that you have not heard of this season,
Right. And I don't
and
know
that
if it's
destroyed their franchise.
Yeah, it really did. And like I said, I don't know if it's technically tampering, but he's doing a lot of things. Like I feel like I want to say like he had he was with Kawhi the other day or something, or called Kawhi. Like there was a story about it, like, and I don't know, and maybe it's not tampering, but it just seems like a
Well-
lot of recruiting that
Well, how do you
is
feel about it, though?
questionable.
Do you consider that a wrong thing or not? Because it's actually kind of an interesting concept and kind of relates to what we were talking about with the whole my team concept, because you
Yeah.
would think that LeBron trying to recruit another huge star player is trying to build a dynasty team. So
Well,
what I think Kyrie was stuck with was a somewhere in between, right? And like you would call the Golden State Warriors a dynasty at this point, right? I mean,
oh yeah, yeah.
like
Yeah.
like you can't point to a single player on that team. I mean, you could point to Steph, I guess, right? But you can name the other players on that team, right? But with the Cavaliers case, that was star player LeBron overshadowing everybody. So
So, like to get to the original, like the question you just asked, do I consider it wrong? The only reason I would consider it wrong, and this is why I have a problem with it, is this whole. I mean, it's a repetitive thing that I've talked about before. Is with the NBA is like LeBron is such a massive force. He's probably the biggest in the game right
he's a
now.
beacon.
Like, well, like because if he goes to a player's like, hey, join me, and then he goes to another player, hey, join me, blah blah blah. Then we have this stupid dumbass balance, like bad balance again, where we have four good teams in the league, and then everybody else is garbage. Like that's the problem I have with the NBA. Like, there's just so much. There's so many good, really good teams, and then there's so many like mediocre bad teams. Like, it's just, and I feel like that kind of recruiting thing and getting players to go there instead of just for example, say uh, Kyrie goes to the Nets, like maybe it's not in the like he's probably not going to win a championship there. I would say absolutely not. But what I am saying is like it creates like the Nets will be better, or yeah, like the Nets will for sure be a better team. If he goes to the Lakers, like that team all of a sudden becomes like a contender right away. I don't know.
So
I just don't like.
your problem seems to be with the state of the league as a whole compared
Oh yeah.
to okay. So that you don't necessarily have a problem with the recruiting per se, but you have a
Well,
problem with how there's four teams we're talking about each week in the NBA, and there's how many more? 28, something like that, not being talked about. How many?
26, yeah.
26. Okay.
But I mean, like I said, I have a problem with it because the recruiting, I feel like, is leading to a bad balance of the league.
But I guess how do you?
Well, okay. So Tyler, my quick question is: do you think like this didn't happen before or something?
Oh, I'm not denying it, but like it definitely did happen before. But like it's so, and maybe it honestly might just be because it's so public, and that's the case now. But it's like every off season, it seems like that there's somebody trying to get somebody to go there. I know. I mean, obviously, Houston tried to start something with CP3 and James Harden, and they were trying to get. They had Melo,
Which almost worked, by the way. At least this last season.
Yeah.
Right. So like I just feel like that, and then and you're right, Brendy, before like it's all about playing in a big market for a lot of these guys, like all the teams are talking about: Houston, LA, New York, the other New York, and then a lot of people are talking about the Clippers because it's LA. Like that's what it is. The Indiana Pacers cannot keep up with all this recruiting bullshit. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to go to Indiana. So that's my whole thing. But yeah, I think I don't like the balance of the NBA, and I've been saying it a lot. And like I said, I think I said it on this podcast before. I just don't like the balance, and I wish it was more spread out. I also think it's the product of like there's a big difference in the NBA than like say hockey between a star and a superstar. And I think that's just the how the game is played. Obviously, a hockey player like Connor McDavid cannot be on the ice for 60 minutes a game. LeBron can essentially play the whole game and kind of take over. So I think there's a big difference between superstar and star, and just the superstars right now are like kind of like they are on this. A lot of them are on the same teams, and it's creating this imbalance. But
Right.
yeah,
So,
that's my whole thing.
but like, look at a team like the Sixers who are looking for a core, right? Like it's a constant debate in Philly about who's supposed to be in that core, right?
Well,
Um,
sorry to cut you off, but the thing
yeah.
about the Sixers is they actually drafted their team. Like
Mhm.
that's all drafted. Embiid and Simmons and I mean
So,
I shouldn't say that because they literally have Jimmy Butler who was not drafted and Tobias Harris, but that was
well, I mean,
players for this year.
Butler's
But
gone most likely. So,
yeah,
but so
yeah.
you're okay with that because of they drafted all those guys versus already a well-known established name like LeBron or
Well,
Steph Curry or any guy like that.
I mean, it wasn't like everybody was like, "Oh, yeah, let's go to Philly and make a dynasty." Like it wasn't like that. It was like we have Embiid and Simmons. We added Butler, and gave up good pieces for that. By the way, I mean Covington was a nice little player
Yeah.
for us, and Saric and those guys are gone. And then Tobias Harris. I mean, we gave up a shit ton for.
Yeah.
So it's not like we were again. It's not that thing where we're like, oh yeah, let's all go there in free agency, like the Miami Heat of the
Yeah.
LeBron days. It was like we actually built this and made moves. Like it wasn't whoever with the Warriors and KD. Like the Warriors gave up except money to KD, nothing for Kevin Durant, one of the best players in the league. So I don't know. That's I just don't like that.
Yeah,
I think
I can see where you're coming from, but I just don't know how I mean, you can't stop it. I mean, it's gonna be one of those weird things. I feel
and maybe
like,
I'm
you
biased.
just can't stop.
Maybe I'm biased because with the NHL, I think there's a lot of there's not a lot of that. John Tavares over the summer was one of the bigger names in recent memory of a guy who a star player who left his team, but you don't really see that too much in the NHL. It's a lot of locking guys up, and I don't want to say loyalty because I don't think that's I guess the case. I don't think that's really the case, but it's just there's not a lot of movement by the big guys. So I don't know if I have a problem necessarily with I don't know. I just like I said, I just don't like the balance. I just hate that. I mean, the Warriors have been in what how many finals in a row now? Like it's dumb.
Since the 2014-15 season.
What? Is that really? Is that true? Really? Oh my god.
Yeah, because I remember that was the year the Hawks had their 60-win season. So
yeah, and it's just like
I want to double check this. Okay, I believe you, but that's just
like
hearing that out
100%
loud.
positive.
Hearing that out loud is insane.
Literally, when the Penguins went back to back in the NHL, like I was like, "This is dumb. Like, why can two teams go back to like it's I like to see new teams." And then that's with the NBA, and a lot of it was obviously Cleveland. On the other side of that, like it's just dumb. The outcome of the season before it starts. Like everybody obviously had Golden State in the finals before the season. So
what's funny?
Anyway.
What's funny? I'm sorry, real quick, just to say real quick. I'm on the Golden State Warriors Wikipedia page right now, and 2009 to now is labeled the Stephen Curry era. I just think that's funny. I just think that's funny just because we were talking about how that team's a dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So speaking of that though, do we think that the Golden State Warriors dynasty might be coming to an end?
It's got to explode at some point, right?
I think this year is like basically. Well, I mean, maybe even last year, but I think definitely this year is going to be like where we like start actually seeing some changes. Like, I don't think Kevin Durant looks like he's going to go with either the Knicks or the Clippers.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about this too, like for the whole BS, like everything that's going on in the NBA, like literally DeMarcus Cousins is playing for like 55 cents this season. Like it's one of those things where he should be getting paid a lot more.
So Tyler, while I do agree with you, he definitely deserved to get paid a lot more. Apparently during the offseason last season, he didn't get any contract offers except for Golden State.
Yeah, because I also seen like a story about like how he was I mean, he's been dealing with injury problems for the last. I mean, obviously this season and last. Right. So, But I don't know.
but so like people gave him like a lot of shit for signing with such little amount to play for a super team, but I don't necessarily know how much of that is his fault.
Yeah, no, I get that, but it's just it had to be Golden State. Like, why couldn't he play for that money for like the goddamn Chicago Bulls? I don't know. Like, whatever.
Because Chicago sucks.
I mean, this
that's
is
why.
everybody's problem with the Patriots, right? And this is why I get flagged all the time, right? I mean, similar idea. Maybe not as much because you can usually point to one or two or three different names on that team versus the starting five of the Golden State Warriors.
Well,
like,
you should be an Eagles fan.
Yes.
Well, and I get. And look, I mean, obviously players are going to be gravitate towards success. Like, they've won championships. I'm not blaming them for that. I just think it's kind of over. I don't know. I'm just sick of it. Anyway, one thing I did want to talk about here was the whole Kyle Lowry and the Golden State fan who we found out was Mark Stevens, an investor for Golden State. I want to talk about that situation because
dumbass.
Yeah, dumbass for sure. And he's, by the way, since been banned for a year after that. So,
this story is so dumb to me, dude. Oh my god.
So, like, I don't, like, what was he thinking?
Yeah, like, you are a part owner of a team.
I believe he owned about 4%. I think
4% has to be still worth a ton of money, though, right?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, for purposes.
But I mean, so how much that can't? Or I guess it's not gonna hurt his status, right? Like, he's gonna get banned for games, but they're not gonna take him back. Like, I guess remove him from the owner pool, right? I guess.
No, I mean, I mean,
don't know
if
how that
they
works.
did that, they would. If they were to do that, they would essentially be breaking the law at that point. But
is it okay?
Yeah, but I mean, at 4%, that's still like about like if it's Golden State, that's about like $80 million.
I didn't know if he bought like.
Assuming Golden State is worth at least $2 billion, it would be about $80 million.
Okay. Jesus, man. Oh my god.
Well,
anyway, dumbass.
I don't know. I'm reading this article and it's just basically saying he's banned for all like team activities as well. I mean, I'm assuming that he's not losing that, but. Yeah, I mean, I
woe
just
is me. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna sit in my projection TV living room and with my mansion. I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I'm assuming this guy's made of money. So
he's got a swimming pool in his swimming pool. That's how rich he is.
like I said, I'm just trying to figure out why. Like, and maybe, I don't know, maybe he was intoxicated or maybe whatever. Like, maybe he had a problem with Lowry. I don't know why he would have a problem with Lowry. But, Kyle Lowry...
Because that gang shit, that's why.
Was playing basketball. He was going for the ball, lands into the crowd. This guy just decides to give him a little shove. And I think the bigger issue out of this for Lowry was he said some obscene things, and I'm assuming none of it. I'm hoping and assuming none of it was like racist or anything, because if that was the case, I think it would have been a lot worse. Like, and we would have heard about it.
You would have heard.
Yes.
You would have heard by now.
So like, I'm assuming it's not that, but if he's saying stuff that shouldn't be said,
yeah.
I just I just can't wrap my head around like why he would do that. Like, why were you upset that the player went for the ball, or like, are you just a douchebag?
You think he was just really sure. I mean, I'll be transparent real quick. I didn't end up getting a chance to actually watch the video. I've just been reading a bunch of the articles. Is it just that like he was just way too into it, like just way too into it?
Maybe it's possible. I just don't. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe that is the case, and maybe he was just it's maybe too into it, and
maybe Kyle stepped on his $2 million sunglasses.
Maybe
$2 million sunglasses. Shout out to Floyd Mayweather, who owns a $1 million something watch.
That is
go watch that video. He's on vacation somewhere in like some island somewhere, and he's in his, I don't want to say hotel room because he probably bought out the place, but wherever he's staying, like, and he has all these suitcases with him, and
He could just buy a hotel
he
for 2
showcases.
nights.
He's like, "Oh, I'm here for 21 days, so a man needs 21 watches," and he opens up like 4 something steel cases of these highly expensive watches, and then he pulls out like a special one that has 1 watch in it. It's like, yeah, here's this $1 million like fully diamond encrusted watch type of thing. And he's like, you know what? And because I'm gonna spend 40 grand because I got fuck all to do, or something like that. And just throws a stack of money on the bed. I just want to.
Dude,
Yeah.
I would love to get paid $200 million just to get the shit beaten out of me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even if that's Manny Pacquiao, like bring it on.
We can arrange that. I would love to see this.
Oh, I would
shit.
love to see.
You're just gonna scrape together $200 million real quick for me.
Yeah,
CPN
no, bro.
exclusive as we go live to Brendy getting his absolute ass beat by Manny Pacquiao.
I'm used to it.
By Manny Pacquiao, you meet up with him and you just get your ass beat in an alley somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
I do want to back up real quick, Ty, when you said like he was just playing basketball. You act like he was playing on like a street court and he got shot in the head. I just want to point that out real quick.
What I'm saying is like he was going for the ball. It wasn't like he was over there like trying to hurt Stevens. Like he was playing basketball, you know?
He was just playing basketball.
So
It's like
that's what I
murdered him.
Let him play, as they say.
Yeah. Let him play. Refs are letting him play, including the fans on the field, Drake and Stevens.
I mean, what do you do if you're a ref and that's it? Like, do you give the fan a technical foul?
Well, you can eject people from. Refs can eject fans from games.
Well, I mean, that's mainly security's concern at that point.
I mean, I think pushing a NBA player who's currently on the court is a pretty big security concern.
Yeah, true.
So like,
sorry, Rook, I just want to cut you off. It's a funny story. I had when I played basketball in high school, one of my teammates' fathers got kicked out. Like his dad got kicked out of a game because he was chirping at the ref at one point, and his littlest daughter starts crying, and he's like, "You made a little kid cry," and then like storms out. Freaking funny.
I don't even remember that.
It was high school, Ty. So.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
you know who it is though.
I just couldn't think of
who lives across the street from me, Ty.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yep. Yeah. And he would do that. Yep. Anyway, so like I just want to ask the question, like, does this fit, like, does this action like I don't know how to word this, but like we've been talking about like the courtside stuff essentially this series with Drake and now this, like, does this now like put Drake under the, like, it kind of pushes him down the ladder a little bit, like, oh well, now we got this Golden State guy pushing players and everybody's focused on that and not Drake. I mean, I don't think it's a big.
I don't think anything's going to change from Drake's perspective.
No, I think he's still going to be passionate and you know.
Right. He's going to keep doing his thing.
Last topic I want to mention about the NBA. There's been a lot of, obviously Kawhi has had a amazing season with the Raptors, and he's another guy who is a potential free agent this year. But, you know, he's taken this team to the finals and they are very successful. Where do we think Kawhi goes? I mean, does he stay? I think if they win the finals, I mean, he can't just leave.
I think Kawhi realistically is probably you know, if you were to ask me like at the season, like at the beginning of the season, like is Kawhi like actually gonna stay in Toronto, I would have been like, no, definitely not.
Yeah, but same thing. I would have said.
I think the fact that his team has been successful under a first year coach, like, and he, you know, he's kind of for the most part seemed to have like kind of quieted down for a little bit.
Which has always been like that though. Like he's
I mean, he wasn't last off season. He was definitely loud.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, in that case, yeah.
But he definitely seemed to quiet down, which makes me think like, you know, he's probably going to stick with Toronto at least for another season.
Well, there was a report that came out that he apparently like bought a house last week in Toronto, and of course everybody went crazy. But I mean, he's an NBA player, like he might have just bought a house there. I do think though, like exactly what you said, that
why there of all places though? That's the thing though. Like, yeah,
dude,
you probably afford it.
I would fucking love to live. My dream is to live in Toronto. Like Toronto is such a great place.
It is.
Canada, great place. Okay. But no, I mean, like, for real though, like, they've had such a successful season. The fans obviously embrace him. They have a very passionate fan base, as we've seen. Like, I just think, like, at the beginning of the year, yeah, like, he wanted to go to LA with LeBron, but now it's like, hey, man, like, I can do this. It's my team, and I took my team to the finals and potentially win the finals. Like, you know, I think if they win, he definitely stays, but I still think if they lose the series, he probably stays. I think it's been a good it's been a good transaction for the Raptors, because I know a lot of people were upset when DeMar DeRozan had to go in exchange. People were actually really upset about that, but I'm sure they forgot about him by now. So yeah, we will wait and see what happens. Are you guys rooting for Toronto, like, just because it's like they're playing Golden State?
I mean, it's always nice to see Golden State lose. So.
I just want to see Drake run up and steal the trophy, like after they start hoisting it in the air.
I don't know why. Like, I feel like with everything I just said, I should hate like Golden State because they are a dynasty and have all this. But like, I actually, you know, I really like Steph Curry. Like, he's one of my favorite players in the league, so maybe that's why.
Well,
but
they're phenomenal to watch, man. I mean,
yeah, I mean, Steph is one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time. So like, it's also nice to see that. But yeah, so that is the discussion on the NBA. This is going to be one of the craziest NBA off seasons, by the way, and I'm sure we'll talk about it. But as for now, the finals are here, and you know, it's weird to see Golden State down in series. So 2-1, see if they can even it up tonight, or if that dreaded I shouldn't say dreaded, but that 3-1 lead that is always memed is there. So all right, so we will move on right now to Brendy's segment. It is In Case You Missed It.
All right, boys. So I got a quick question. Do either of y'all watch? Wow. No, you don't watch the radio now, do you? Do either of y'all listen to the Rich Eisen show on Fox Sports Radio?
You struggled to get that out.
I do occasionally.
Well, it's kind of hard to say. Rich Eisen.
Rich Eisen, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I do occasionally because he's a Michigan alum, so gotta support.
I do not.
Right.
Go blue, but I do not.
If you ever have a chance to listen, it's actually a pretty good show. It's on Monday through Friday, 12 to 3. But he brought up an interesting question that's not sports related, and I need to get your guys' opinion. So this is not necessarily a story, but I figured it might get a good discussion going on.
Sure.
So here's the question. You're on an airplane. All right? Does the person sitting in the middle seat get both armrests?
That is a great question.
It is a great question.
And before I get y'all's replies, I just want to read some of these responses on Twitter here.
Mm-hmm.
Ross Tucker says, "Not if they're sitting next to me." Let's see. Another user says, for those people that are saying no way, reconsider. I hardly ever sit in the middle, and I always yield my armrest to the middle seat passenger. It is the rule of travel. So I want to know what you guys think.
So I feel like if you get the middle seat, you are already like miserable.
Yep.
So like yeah. It just sucks. Especially like if you're if you're with people you know and you get the middle seat, that's one thing, but like you know, flying by yourself and sitting next to two strangers is like another thing. I think that both though, that's a lot.
So here's my thing, and Bobby, I want to get your opinion too. So if you're on a 3-seated plane, like 3 seats on either side, the window seat, they get an armrest and a window.
Mhm.
The aisle seat gets an armrest and a bunch of legroom, and then the middle seat, they probably deserve to get both armrests because they're confined.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that, but I'm also like, you're so miserable to begin with, you might as well just get nothing, So
Yeah,
I don't know.
just sit there and wallow in your misery for this 10-hour flight. Why don't you? Like, I gotta. They probably deserve the armrest because, I mean, window seat is top
Both
tier.
armrests.
I would say both. I would probably say both, just because window seat is top tier. Like, you get to, look out the window the whole time, whatever. I mean, it sucks if you have to cross two people to go to the bathroom or whatever, but end seat is good because, like you said, leg room, and you get armrest, and you can get up without having to bother anybody to go to the bathroom or do whatever. And the middle seat, you get nothing. You have to stare directly in front of you. Hopefully there's a good movie playing, but let's face it.
And you might get stuck on a plane that doesn't have any screens.
Exactly.
Which
So
has happened to me so many times.
Yeah,
it's happened to me on a flight from Atlanta to LA.
That one hurts.
That does hurt. That hurts a lot. I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of interest in this story for personal reasons, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, I will say, like, the flight that I took from Philadelphia to Atlanta did not have any screens, but I also sat in comfort. So
that was also like a 2-3 hour flight.
Well, it's actually less than that. It's like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah, because it's 2 hours to Florida from Philly International.
The interesting thing though is, like, when I first flew up, like from Atlanta to Philly, it had screens.
Well, that's what happened to me. When I flew down the first time, it's probably because it was a Wednesday night, but I had screens, and this was the first time I flew Delta, which you recommended to me. I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest fucking thing. Not to mention that I was literally in a row. It was, I had the window seat, and there was nobody next to me, and I had a screen. So I was like,
wow,
this is literally the best thing that could happen. But in the back of my head, I'm like, this is not going to happen every time, so I got to get used to, like, I can't get used to this.
How was it the second time?
Well, that was the only time I got TVs on the flight.
Oh, okay.
Because when I went back, but even when I went back, I was the very last row of the plane, and it was only 2 seats, so there was only a girl next to me, and then that was it.
It's not too bad.
But then the second time that I flew back from Georgia to Philly, I got middle seat between 2 strangers. But thankfully, even in that case, like, the girl next to me probably weighed like 75 pounds. So, like, she wasn't taking up any room, and the other woman was kind of off to the side, so the guy even had some space in that.
There you go.
So
the last time I flew was down to Florida for my high school senior trip, and and I mean, we were packed like sardines, and that was only 2 rows, like, or sorry, 2-seat rows. Like, it was me and a friend of mine both times, and it was just like my knees were like bent at such a terrible angle. I have long legs. I'm 6 foot and I have pretty long legs. So it was absolute garbage. I can't wait to be on like an actual okay plane again, because that was not an okay plane, like, at all. So what I did to combat that, I slept the entire flight. That's what I did. I
can't sleep on planes.
I can sleep on planes pretty easy. I just got to find the position. But once I find the position, I'm out. Like, that's it.
Yo, literally, also on that flight back, when I was in between people, I had the tray table down and fell asleep on, like, the tray table.
That's what I did.
I was leaning forward on the tray table, just snoozing.
Yeah, I had my head, like, the tray table obviously wasn't, I mean, in my case, it wasn't down. I just put my head against the tray that was, like, up, like, on the back of the seat. Yeah. And I just had my head, like, forward, and I fell asleep that way. Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
Actually, I should say that was me. Now that I remember, I had my head on the back of the seat, but like, my arms were on the rest, the tray table rather.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
But to answer the original question, I guess they should probably get both.
Yeah, but he's gonna be very bitter about it.
Well, so I guess my favorite personally is the window seat because like
Yeah.
I get the armrest, I control the window. There's nothing more irritating than like getting a middle seat or an aisle seat and not being able to look out of the plane.
Right.
I honestly like the window seat for me. I don't care so much about the actual window. I just like you can lean up against the wall, so like
Right. That's another point I was gonna say.
like I can fall asleep like that because like my head is in one position.
You're right. If I'm gonna fall asleep on a plane, that's probably how I'm gonna do it. Like chair lean slightly back and then like lean against the wall.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like, but then
yeah.
and the other token, like the aisle seat, you get you can basically extend your leg all the way out until somebody comes by.
Well, I know, but flight attendants, like especially Delta flight attendants, like will be like really picky about like clearing the aisle and stuff, and they always have the carts that they roll out, and you don't want to get your foot run over. So
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be awake, like you can't leave your foot out, but
because I don't know if you saw, but like those carts are actually pretty big, and like flight attendants can't always see behind them.
oh yeah.
So you're kind of screwed if you get your foot ran over.
Just a broken foot on an airplane. That
And then
would happen
and then
to
I
me,
also-
by the way.
And then I also don't want to fall asleep on the person in the middle seat if I'm in the aisle seat. Like if I'm just like slanted slightly.
Oh god, that would be a nightmare.
This
It
is your
would
captain
be.
speaking. If you are in the middle seat, you automatically get both armrests. Thank you.
All right, so are we all in agreement that the middle seat should get okay? I say should, so they should get both armrests.
Yeah, but I mean, even in that case, I'd still be miserable.
But I swear to God, if like they push my arm off or anything, they're getting a right hook. Like
Right.
It's warranted at that point.
it is.
It's
It
fine.
is. Do not. I'm already bitter probably by the time I'm on the plane. So do not touch me. Because I mean, Philly International sucks. So
Worst airport in the goddamn world.
yeah,
Well,
and-
I've been there twice.
Yep. I mean, that's where we, if I need to even go anywhere that I need to fly, I need to go to Philly International. And it's so backwards and weird and just so weird to navigate. And I got randomly selected like twice on the same trip. It was friggin' ridiculous.
Did you like the Atlanta airport, Ty?
I loved it, but like it's kind of weird to adjust to because it's so much bigger than Philly's.
Oh, it's massive.
airport.
Oh, it's huge, dude.
You would
like,
think that
it's
Philly would be bigger because it's an international airport, but it's not at all. Like,
Right.
It's just weird. Everything's weird.
And Ty, the funny thing is, you actually came like kind of at a bad time because there was actually some construction going on at the airport.
Yeah, it was. By the way, it was also like 4 days after the Super Bowl, which was in
Yep.
Atlanta. I'm pretty sure. So,
Yeah, that
or like, well, it obviously wasn't Atlanta, but like, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that people were still there from that. Was what I meant to say.
yeah, probably. All right, so we're gonna move on from this story. So, as our boy, Zick Butterstick has shared with us through our personal Discord, Microsoft has announced that they are going to be making their very own body wash, partnered with Axe. So
Why?
when I first heard this story, I gotta admit I was kind of interested simply for the fact that they were partnered with Axe, and Axe, they make some pretty good stuff. At least they make some pretty good like smelling stuff. So this is an article from The Verge. It says gaming lifestyle products have slowly but surely crept from the realm of clothing and specially designed furniture to food and drink. Perhaps you've seen G Fuel, yada yada yada. Well, Microsoft is getting in front of an all-new trend: gaming-oriented
What?
personal care products.
What trend? No one else is doing this but you. What
by
trend?
partnering with the brand behind Axe body spray to produce new Xbox branded body wash, shower gel, and deodorant. So another thing I was thinking, I hope this isn't one of those products where like, you try their shampoo and then like you hop out of the shower and then like your hair smells like your Xbox or something. Like I hope it's not like that.
Well, that was gonna be my first question. Like, what are the scents?
Ooh,
Like,
what are you wearing today? I'm wearing the Red Ring of Death today.
That sounds like a perfume kind of.
but like,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, the first thing I seen, because people were obviously just on the jokes as soon as they heard this. It was like everybody was saying like Xbox, and like it was just like the dumbest shit.
I should not have laughed at
And
that. Fuck that.
it's a terrible joke, but like like I said, I mean, my biggest
God damn
question, it really is like, what are the actual? What are
So
the actual sense? Like, is it like burning like your disc, or like I don't know.
Oh,
So
smell
according
like a
to
new controller.
according to Tania Chi, who's the business lead in Xbox Australia and New Zealand, they said, "We see Xbox fans achieve incredible things every day, and we wanted to celebrate that elevated skill, passion, and determination by creating something truly special. Now, powering up can be as simple as a quick spray before you head out the door." Now, last paragraph of this article says, "What does Xbox smell like?" Microsoft says the answer is fruit, herbs, and various styles of wood.
Last time I checked, my Xbox
Wood.
being on fire does not smell like fruits and herbs, but that's just me.
Okay.
First, can we talk about the wood? Does somebody actually want to smell like wood?
Well, I think they're
So-
talking about like you ever smell like when someone's like sawing wood, like the like a I don't know, like a I don't know what it's called,
Like a
buzz saw, like a
lumberjack?
buzz saw. Yeah, well, there's a smell with wood, like when you're cutting wood. That happens. I think that's what they're talking about.
I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know how that would be a scent that you would want on your body.
It's definitely
So-
something you would put on a Yankee Candle.
So there's one confirmed like scent so far. It's called Lynx. So it says Lynx Xbox is a fresh scent of pulsing green citrus, featuring top notes of lime and winter lemon, aromatic herbal middle notes of mint and sage, and woody bottom notes of, I don't know how to pronounce this, patchouli and clearwood.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, so they basically combined three completely different scents into one shampoo, from what it looks like.
Okay, why not?
Or sorry, body wash.
This is one of those things that if I were to ever buy it, I wouldn't use it. It'd be one of those things that I'd put like on like a gaming shelf. You know what I'm talking about? Like, ever see like some streamers who have like a bunch of, what do you want to call them?
Stuff in the background.
Like stuff in the background, like pop vinyls and pop figures and stuff like that, gaming related. That's one of those things you put behind there. Like, that's all this is good for. I'm telling you right now. Full transparency. I do use Axe still, not the body spray, but the deodorant, just because I like it and the girlfriend likes it. Whatever.
No, I'm all about the Old Spice.
I can't get into it, man. I think it's terrible.
Rachel May loves that stuff.
Yeah, that you see. Yeah, see.
Is the retail price for these, by the way, like $60, or
It's $60 and then $60 for Xbox Gold.
just like a regular game?
Right.
I have to admit though, I kind of want to try it.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna try, and we need a full-on review video. That's what we
Yeah,
need.
absolutely. You definitely. If it's out, I think it's only available in Australia and New Zealand right now. But
Yeah, stay there.
I will definitely try it when it comes to the States.
Okay. Or you gotta do one of those things where
on my honor, I will.
you gotta know like an Australian guy who smuggled you in some Xbox body wash.
Yeah,
You got the stuff. You got the
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You have the stuff. You have the what the hell's the thing? The
What
the
flavor?
green.
Flavor? Are you eating it?
You gotta throw off. You gotta start to come up with some underground terms.
At this
can't wait
point,
till
at
the
this point,
first
I'm too
person.
embarrassed to say that I'm smuggling in body wash. I will out loud just say, "Hey, you got the weed," and if I get arrested, then fine.
I feel like the first person that's gonna use it is just gonna break out in a full body rash. That's
Dude,
just,
yeah, you're gonna hear it too, and it's gonna be some kid who I don't know.
Well, if I die, then you guys know what happened. I tried some of the Xbox body wash.
that's fine. We'll be rich in your name.
Yeah, exactly. I was literally just about to say we're gonna go to court and we're gonna win, and then we're gonna fund CPN forever with that money.
That's fine.
That's a great
yeah,
idea.
so it's all
boys.
good.
You heard it here first. All right,
This is
let's
true
go ahead and
reporter
move.
stash right here.
Let's go ahead and move on.
I love
Ty.
this.
So, we got some news the other day. I mean, it's been something we've been talking about for a little bit because we know that the next Call of Duty will be Modern Warfare. We are going backwards for some reason.
We're
Not
going
Modern
backwards,
Warfare.
but we're going forwards.
What's funny because like you said something yesterday or in the group chat, you were like, "Yeah, let's talk about Modern Warfare 4." I'm like, "No, like it's not. It's just Modern
So
Warfare." Like,
I am officially dubbing it Modern Warfare 2019, like, because
Well, I
I'm
think-
gonna confuse myself.
Isn't like that what they usually call it? Like anyway, before it gets named, like it would just be.
No, I mean,
Or I guess it would be Call of Duty 2019, not Modern Warfare.
I mean, they're gonna. I mean, yeah, in a way, but I mean, no one's gonna say Modern Warfare because everybody knows what Modern Warfare actually is. I'm not hating on the game yet because I'm actually really excited, and Tyler is definitely gonna explain why in a second. But it's so I can't. No, like just on the name, but fine. But fine.
Again, something that I have talked about before on the podcast because I think we got in this debate is the Modern Warfare series is. I don't know if it's my Modern Warfare 2 is definitely my favorite COD of all time. That is settled for sure. But I'm trying to figure out if I like Black Ops better than Modern Warfare. Because I love Modern Warfare 3, but I also love Black Ops 1 and 2 and even 3. So like it's tough for me.
I think 2 I had the most memories in. Like Black Ops 2 had the most memories, MW2 I think had the most fun.
Dude,
like,
nothing better than just like coming home and just playing League play for hours.
Yeah.
So the difference, I think it's actually opposite for me. Like Modern Warfare 2, I think I had probably the best time.
Yeah.
And Black Ops 2, it was fun because like we were doing League play and stuff like that, and like we were actually not that we were like amazing because that's not the case, but like we were getting better and it was good to see. So like it was fun in that sense, but yeah. So Modern Warfare has always been a big thing for us, and some big changes coming for this next game, which is going to be awesome. The big one that was announced just the other day is that Modern Warfare will be cross-platform.
It is lit, my dudes.
Which like basically solves the problem.
I've been telling y'all from the beginning about crossplay. I've been trying to tell you guys. Just saying.
So, like, this basically solves the problem that we had about Black Ops 4 because nobody got it because we all won it on different things.
I have it too, but I just didn't get into it.
We never have played it.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have it. So,
I'm like maybe level 8 in that game right now.
Yeah, which it's a shame too because I actually thought that game had potential, but like I don't even know if it's good or not because I haven't seen anything.
Black Ops good. I mean, from somebody who doesn't play Battle Royale, I mean, it seemed like it took off pretty quickly. I mean, it's kind of died down since then, but there was really nothing wrong with the mode per se.
Yeah.
I didn't get into it as much as I thought I was going to this time around, but that's just me.
So, I mean, obviously, the cross-platform is a very positive thing.
Huge.
Dude, I'm shaking right now. Like, I have been saying this for so long, like, for years now. Like, you know, not even just the podcast, obviously. But, oh, my God, man. I think we're seeing a trend, boys. I think it's finally happening.
Well, the other big thing that is coming out of this Modern Warfare thing that maybe not as many people are talking about because of the cross-platform thing, but the season pass is no longer a thing anymore, and all DLC will be free, which is awesome. That's the other. Those are
UEA.
What is happening right now?
Yeah, I know.
What is happening?
You know, it's. I think a lot of it has to do with Fortnite.
But even Fortnite still has the Game Pass and everything else. So what's Call of Duty doing?
But it's all cosmetic stuff.
I know, but
I mean, I think a lot of people, you know, I think.
I'm sorry, just to interrupt really quick. Not necessarily Fortnite, but just the whole introduction of like games kind of having like, you know, free aspects to it, kind of drawing fans back. That's kind of what started it all.
We'll buy the cosmetic items, just don't make us buy the maps, I guess.
Yeah, and I think right, and I think Fortnite was one of the first games to kind of start that, and it's really nice to see Call of Duty getting into it.
Oh my God, I'm so happy.
do you guys think that they're kind of doing cross-platform and this free map to get players? Like, because,
Oh, they have to.
well, because what I was gonna say is like, I know that we ran into the situation a couple times, like back in the day, like me and Bobby and our friends, our local friends, was that, you know, 4 of us are in a party, 2 of us have the new map pack, 2 of us don't. So those people that don't have the map pack can't play on the new maps, and like maybe it's like they're trying to get everybody together, they're trying to get everybody playing again. They're trying to get, you know, friends online to grow them again. I don't. Maybe that's what
it was
doing.
annoying in MW2 because it would be like, okay, we're queued up in a multiplayer lobby, and the host had the map packs, and all of a sudden everybody's out of the game except him.
Oh yeah,
like,
I forgot about that.
What was it called? What was it called? Like, not system transfer. What was it called when you could like share the map packs or like skins or whatever it was? What was it called on the 360?
Well, I forget what it's called on 360, but they on the Xbox One they have the My Home Xbox thing.
That's not it. No, it was because it was like because a friend of mine, back in my COD
I know
community
exactly
days,
what you're talking about, though. I just can't think of the name.
Shared some of the Black Ops 2 skins with me. And I'm trying to remember what the hell it was called. Is it system transfer? That can't be it.
I honestly, that sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But
anyway, sorry.
But yeah,
license transfer. That's
license
what it is.
transfer. That's it. Yep, there it is.
Yeah. So like I was always thinking, and like I said, maybe. Ooh, shit! I almost broke my goddamn phone. That would have been bad.
Live, boys, live.
Yeah. So maybe they're trying to get everybody back together. I don't know. The last thing to mention about this is that, and I didn't expect this, but this game does not include zombies, which I'm not. Zombies is, I mean, it's kind of, I guess, COD in general, but like zombies is really not interest me that much anymore. Like if I want to play zombies, I'm not gonna go back to like the latest game. Like I'm gonna go back to like Black Ops 1. I feel like I just don't.
Had good zombies too.
Black Ops 2 did have good. Black Ops 2 though, like had really good DLC zombies.
Yes, I
will say Black Ops 1 did. Like my favorite all time zombies map is probably Ascension from Black Ops 1.
Dude, that, oh my god. Well, what was the that wasn't Ascension. What was the one where you started out in like the FBI office? What was that one?
5.
Yeah, 5.
Well, that was the Pentagon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I really liked that one.
Yeah, that's a classic. They actually brought that back for Black Ops 4, and I've played on it, and it's actually a lot of fun. So
I'll have to play
that. I will say Black Ops 4 does have pretty good zombies.
Okay. Was I forget. I think it was called Transit. That was Black Ops 2, right?
Yes.
That was the first map available on Black Ops 2.
Yeah, that was the one where you would get on the bus and
yeah. So that was a cool aspect. I like that. Yeah, that was cool.
I was trying to. I tried to do some solo runs on the, what was it called, Farm or whatever it was, which was one of the places in
difficult.
It is. I was trying to do some solo runs, but I had some decent like upper 20, lower 30 runs, I think. So I at one point tried to do a stream where I was trying to break the record. It was like 60 something. So I was trying to be Syndicate for a minute there. But I don't know. I don't know. I was really good at running trains on the map for some reason by myself. So I just tried to do
well, it's a lot easier when you're by yourself.
It is. It is, but like it's also really claustrophobic and small space. Like you open like 4 doors and that's it. Like you don't go anywhere else. You're in that really confined space. So even when it would start to get into the upper rounds and there'd be zombies coming from every which direction, I was really good at kind of just, I don't know, keeping them all in a single line and just firing at their heads.
It seems like every zombies map has like their really good like train/circle area. Like in Ascension, it's the place by the Pack-a-Punch room where you just like you can just run around in circles by the like where the rocket used to be.
Yes, absolutely.
That's probably one of the best.
Oh, by the way, shout out to World War II zombies for Brendy setting me on fire at one point.
I still have that clip.
Yeah, I have it on my YouTube, I think, like unlisted, but it's really funny.
It is. That's a good one. Yeah. Basically, just to describe it really quick, there's on the first World War II map, there is there's basically like a giant. I guess best way I can describe it is like a well or a hole or something.
It leads to like underground tunnels and
right. But there's this machine that basically blows up the entire hole. If it's like filled with zombies, then it'll kill them all. Well, Bobby here decided to do his best Michael Phelps impersonation and go for a little swim. So he just decided to dive straight into the hole, and like right before he managed to get in, because like if you turn it on, turn on the device, then it won't let you in the hole like while it's going off. But I happened to do it at like the perfect time, and Bobby just dove straight in, and I think he died.
No, I didn't die because it doesn't kill you. It just, I
Oh yeah,
literally,
because of
as
friendly
soon as my
fire.
feet left the ground to dolphin dive, I just got hit with a wall of fire. Like, and it just scared
Yep.
the absolute shit out of me. I was making some inhuman noises as I was falling into the well there.
Dude, Johnny Cash would have been proud.
Oh, dude. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Brendy's
Hey, we're gonna get
bitch.
copyrighted.
Twitch stream shut down. Mods, I'm sorry. Twitch
Well,
admins.
because you sound so much like him. So.
Oh, obviously.
Um.
Thank you very much. Now I'm doing the Elvis impersonation.
So. I can't. So like the last Call of Duties, PS4 will still be getting the exclusive early, like the DLC. But instead of a month earlier, like usual, it's going to be only a week earlier. So that's kind of cool because like it kind of sucks when like you would be watching a YouTuber play DLC and you're like, damn, I really want to play, but I gotta wait a goddamn month. Like that always sucks. But one question kind of a major question I have here, because I think, I mean, this is going to happen for really any game if games do start going full cross-platform. Do you think PC gamers have an advantage over console gamers? And like, Fortnite for sure, like we know that, but like for this game,
It's interesting because, sorry to cut you off, Brendy. It's interesting
You're
because Sea of Thieves has took an extreme step, or were planning on, I don't know if they actually did it, tried to do an extreme step to try and limit that, because they felt that PC players on Sea of Thieves had a huge advantage if they were trying to raid people who were on console, because obviously you can move quicker and whatever else, like look over to the sides a lot quicker and a more freedom of movement, et cetera, et cetera. So they started to diversify the plan was to diversify the servers so that console played on one and PC played on another, while still maintaining their cross-platform side. It's really weird. Like, I think it was like, oh yeah, you could still party up with console players, but you can't. I don't know. It was weird. I forget exactly what they were trying to do, but it was pretty extreme from what I remember, because Summit 1G was playing at the time and he was upset about it.
So I'm glad you brought up Fortnite though, Tyler, because the thing that I was thinking about, obviously PC players do have an advantage when it comes to Fortnite, but a lot of that also has to do with the fact that there's a lot more buttons to hit in Fortnite and there's a lot more scrolling to do.
mm-hmm.
But like if you think like Call of Duty, it's basically like you press a button and something happens.
Right.
So like the only thing that PC players would have an advantage over is like they'd be able to like look around and like move a little bit faster, but like that's about it. But I think when it comes to actual gameplay, like I think for the most part it'll be pretty balanced.
So as far as I can tell, it seems like it's gonna work kind of how Fortnite does it. As far as cross-platform, so like if you're playing on console by yourself, you'll get matched up with console players. But if you're playing if you're on console and you're playing with someone who's on PC, there can be a mix. Is what I think I'm getting out of this, which Fortnite does, and it seems like that's the case. I don't know for sure, but yeah, it sounds like if you're on console or by yourself, or if everybody is on console, you'll not be matched up with PC players. That's what I take from that. But I mean, I guess it's not a huge advantage. Yeah, Fortnite is very advanced in the case of like buttons and stuff like that. So it's probably going to be a bigger advantage on something like that. But at the same time, that split second to move faster might be a key moment, and I don't know if it's going to be a huge thing. I just think that obviously being able to play on PC and having higher frame rates and stuff like that, like I just think that it's possible that you could have an advantage. I don't know what. I mean, that would be something to monitor, because I would really like if they had stats on that or something, like if they could like what the kill death ratio between like a PC player and a console player or something. Like that would actually really be interesting to me, just to kind of see if there is something there. I
Right.
don't know, but yeah. Either way, very excited for this game. Because I want to get back on the COD, man. Like I do, and again, I mean,
Yeah, I'm
we
itching
probably
too.
would have gotten to Black Ops 4 had we all got it on the same console. And like for us, excuse me, for us right now, like especially like we're literally playing 2 games. It's like we're playing Fortnite and NHL. Like that is it. Like we need something else, and I feel like this could be. Like,
That
and
game will be Call of Duty 16. That's what I'm calling it. Call of Duty
Stop.
16.
I feel like Tyler's secretly blaming Brendy for this because Brendy made the
Probably.
push for PC.
I am not blaming.
I'm okay. I made the push for PC because first of all, Bobby, I knew you would get it at some point.
Yes.
Tyler said he was thinking about it because he just got a new computer.
Yeah.
That could run this type of games. Zach, just like for some reason, Zach in the past for some reason has bragged about being able to run GTA 5 or GTA 5 max graphics on his laptop. So I
good
was
for you,
I
buddy.
was just so I was just like, okay, well then it'll clearly run Black Ops 4 just fine. And then he's like, dude, I'm getting like 10 FPS in this game. Like I can't play.
What?
Well, he did
What?
get like the new gaming PC recently, so I mean maybe that could.
Well, he did. Like he could probably play it now, honestly.
Yeah.
But like it was partly like the fact that like I envisioned the 4 of us all playing like on PC together. I thought that would be fun.
Honestly, like if it were to come out, like if it was like $20 right now, I would buy it. Like I think it's still 60 though.
Yeah. Most likely.
They've had a couple sales, but nothing that low. I don't think.
Like it's crazy too. I mean, the game has been out for months now, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I've never had a problem with it. It's just, and I've said this for other games too, like being a console player my whole life, and not to mention like this is just as a general thing, like I never ever used a computer, let alone for gaming, like much at all through like at my childhood and stuff like that. So like even like getting comfortable with the keys and stuff was different, and it's so hard to like switch from console to PC. It's incredibly challenging.
I think
like
you just got to stick with it though.
Well, I was about to say, Tyler, you've had the problem of like, especially on Fortnite, like you've given it a try, but like the problem is like you do badly, and then like you don't ever want to play PC again.
Well, that's the other issue I have because I can't adjust to
Fortnite.
it. Well, I can't.
Okay, but it's like same thing like with Overwatch though. Like he's been playing Overwatch recently.
But I feel like
Overwatch
Fortnite you can get.
with.
I feel like Fortnite it's Tyler knows he's decent on Fortnite on console, right? So he goes over to PC and he's getting absolutely obliterated by somebody. I'm sure he's gonna be pissed. And Overwatch, a new game where I mean, if he gets into it, he's gonna be pissed for a game that he doesn't totally care about quite yet. If he dies and is still learning, then that's fine. You know?
That's kind of thing. Because like, I would say decent is the strongest word I'd use for me on console. Like, on PC, a person can build like a 1x1 3 stories up in like literally 2 seconds, and like I can't compete with that. I can hardly put a wall down and on PC on Fortnite. So like, and obviously like when I'm playing console, I can do that fine.
Right.
So I just get like really frustrated. But I mean, honestly though, like going back to the original thing, like Fortnite is probably not like that is probably the hardest crossover to make. So
it is.
Like if you're trying to go from to console to PC, I don't know. But yeah, let's just see how it's gonna go, I guess, with this whole crossplay thing. Because like I said, I'm just not quite sure about the whole if there's gonna be an advantage or not.
I'm cool ducking on anybody, PC, PS4, or Xbox, or Switch. I don't care. I don't even know.
Yeah, dude, just imagine like if you're able to figure out how to like hook up a keyboard and a mouse to a Nintendo Switch, you'd just be destroying lobbies.
Jeez, dude. Did you guys also see though about the new game that there's apparently talk about, and I'm looking at the article on Tech Radar, and it says to expect controversy because a level or some of the levels or maybe the entire goddamn story is supposed to be very much inspired by No Russian.
Sweet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Bring it on.
Calm down over there, kid.
My favorite level.
You psychopath.
But it was the reason why I like the level so much is not because I have a freaking lust for blood. Like, it was more
or
like
killing innocent people.
Like, I didn't realize what was happening. Like, because I remember when I first got in W2 and it was like, it gave you that content warning where it's like,
yeah.
It was like, oh, there's some stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm shooting people. Like, well, what is it? You're
not
murdering
mistaken,
innocent civilians.
If I'm not mistaken, like, it gives you an option to skip it.
It does.
Right?
It does. Because,
Well,
I mean, for all intents and purposes, you do not need to play the level. I mean, you literally go in there, you murder a bunch of civilians, and then what's his name shoots you in the ambulance. Makarov.
But, like, the thing about it, it's like, it's kind of right how you said that, though. It's like, I'm playing a shooting game. Like, what could be worse? And then it's like, oh, yeah, I'm killing, like, this is terrorism. I'm literally playing terrorism.
I'm literally playing terrorism. Tyler's what I did.
That is exactly what is happening.
No,
like,
but
yeah.
And from someone like me who, you know, is learning how to convey stories in different mediums, and, you know, in film school and other things, from a story perspective, that thing hits you like dead in the chest, just like the bullet hitting all the civilians. But regardless, like. Like you felt that mission, like because Call of Duty, as good as like MW2 campaign was, kind of going through the levels can be kind of mindless sometimes because you're kind of just, oh, go to this building, clear it out. Okay, go to this building, clear it out. Okay, steal the laptop, get on the helicopter and leave, right? Yeah. But from a story perspective, it was so different and so shocking. Like it worked in every possible way. So
it would have been 10 times better instead of an LMG had an intervention.
RPG, what do you want it out? Bro, just like, quick scoping Russian civilians in an airport.
But I mean, to further that point though, like the whole thing with the mission with Ghost dying, like that was a good story.
Spoilers.
Too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Holy shit, 10-year-old game.
Yeah. If I'm spoiling it, you got problems. No, but no, like I get that. But like, what do you mean, like from what you've seen, like about the whole? Like, continue that point you're talking about. You said, like, this campaign was going to be a lot like that.
So, I'll read verbatim. So, this is an article from Tech Radar. The article is just kind of talking about everything that they know so far. So, the bottom headline says, expect controversy, and it reads, according to comicbook.com, the game will be... Actually, it doesn't say will be. It says, the game be, as if you're a pirate, but I'm going to say it over here. The game will be, quote, heavy on troubling, realistic emotions, very much inspired by the controversial No Russian level. That mission is in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It was highly controversial at the time for depicting an undercover CIA agent who takes part in a mass shooting of civilians. The trailer suggests...
you're playing an American, by the way, saying.
The trailer... you're undercover for the Americans, and you're killing Russian civilians.
Joseph Allen.
Yes.
That's the name.
And then you die. The trailer suggests other terrorist attacks may feature in the story, and children also feature, so it may be these elements are used to stir up controversy. This ought to be good.
Oh, man.
And this was the Modern Warfare 2 level. I mean, mass shootings happened before that game, but now it's like, it's a hot topic. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I don't, know, I don't mean that to any disrespect for any victims or anything like that, but, it's become a more common issue to be talked about. It's become, something that's been at the forefront of a lot of controversy. So, yeah, there's controversy here, but here's the thing. I like that. I guess if this is true, if this is to be believed, I like that they're taking a risk on this. Whenever a storyteller takes risks like this, it ends up working out in their favor most of the time. So I'm glad they're doing
You're right
this.
though, because like when the game was released, it was like 2008, 2009.
Like that, yeah.
I mean, yeah, obviously shootings happen and stuff like that, but unfortunately, how things have went, it's happened a lot more recently, so it will be interesting.
There was one last week.
I wonder if, like, is it gonna get to the? I don't know. Is it gonna be outrage, and then they're gonna have to like do stuff about it? I don't know, because like I feel like that's the whole.
Actually, I shouldn't say that because remember what happened in Modern Warfare 2? Like 3 years after it was already out of date, they had to go back and remove the apparent like Muslim scripture above the toilet on favela or whatever.
Yeah.
I remember Wings of Redemption making a video where he just went off about that, by the way.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, well, I
mean,
know, and it was weird, but I mean, they had to fix it. But no, I don't, because I feel like they would have to take away the whole campaign. The way they're talking, the whole campaign's centered around this kind of thing.
Yeah.
If that is true, then I'll be happy.
He sounds so sadistic.
Yeah, let's put it that way. No, I'm kidding.
I will play every level.
Like realistically, like it seems like it'll be really interesting if that is the case, though. Like,
yeah,
I'm
excited.
There's definitely going to be controversy. If it's as serious as they're saying it is, like this could be just completely overblown. Like, let's be real.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely can be, and it's just a report. I don't think it was ever confirmed. However, the trailer does suggest some interesting stuff. So I mean, who knows what to expect? I mean, I'm just glad they're bringing a campaign back, and it sounds like they actually took some time into this campaign for once. It's not just, oh yeah, here's this mission where you're this up and coming cadet, and you're sent on this mission to kill this like terrorist.
So, quick question, and sorry, I'm watching a clip of No Russian, like just to kind of get a background of like what exactly to expect. So, how many times have you played No Russian, Bobby?
I could probably count on one hand.
So another question: what happens if you're playing that mission and you just don't shoot the whole time?
Somebody did this, didn't they?
I have no idea.
You have to start it off.
Remember? Okay, so like, what if you just like shoot in the sky or whatever?
I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like somebody's tried it before. Because don't you start it off? I think you started off, right? Because he's like, remember, no Russia, and then I think you have to fire the first bullet, or am I wrong?
I have no idea.
Sure. I'm pretty sure, right? But I thought we like talked about this or something like that. Somebody did do this, and they were like, "Yeah, you don't have to actually shoot anybody." We definitely talked about this, and I can't remember.
But I'm remembering this is years ago, but I do remember like the first part of the mission very vividly. Like, there are points where, like, you're kind of by yourself, and there's all these people running. Are you not supposed to shoot them? Like, I don't think you'll fail, but
right.
I don't know.
Well, it's like in previous missions, you're like, oh, if you shoot the civilians, like it'll end. So like, I don't know, maybe someone's just like, oh, I can't shoot these guys.
And by the way, I just thought of something. Like, how shitty must you feel? You're an undercover CIA agent who has to murder civilians to keep your cover, and then you end up getting
you get
blown
shot in the
anyway.
face.
Like, how shitty must you feel? You just killed hundreds, thousands of civilians for no reason.
Well, I mean, he's dead. He's probably not going to care too much, but
I don't know. I mean, anyway. He was alive for a couple more minutes. I'm sure that's what he was thinking about.
Well, yeah, true.
So,
because at the end of that mission, like Mac was basically like, when the Russians like see this body or something like that, they'll be crying for war or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, some political thing. Like you literally jump on the back of the bus, and as soon as your feet hit it, you have a gun to your face, and you just get blown away. It's insane.
Yep.
So it looks like we're all looking forward to the next Call of Duty. I definitely am.
We're really gonna have to decide what we're getting on. This is probably gonna be the last Call of Duty before next gen, most likely, if what the reports are at. So this should be interesting. Going forward, because Ghost was the transition game.
It was some transition game that was.
I fucking hate
shout out to our buddy
it was
Ethan.
Still on 360 then, wasn't it?
Shout out to our buddy Ethan,
it was.
who fucking loved that game for some reason. I don't get you, but I love you dearly. Like, I really just don't get it. Campaign was okay in that game, but I hated the mechanics of that game.
I actually really liked the campaign in that game.
Yeah, I liked it. Like I said, I liked it too. I just really liked Riley, the dog. But he was fun he was fun in the campaign. But I played it still because at the time I was in the COD community. Editing that game was ugly. And then editing the game was really ugly. And then I don't know, just didn't really enjoy that game.
I don't understand how what's that villain in Ghost? I forget his name.
Dude, I besides Riley, I forget everybody else's name.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I can't think of it, but But yeah, it was an okay game. Not my favorite. It's not my bottom tier. My bottom tier would be Advanced Warfare. But,
Yeah, that's everybody's bottom tier because
yeah,
Advanced Warfare is so. Whether you actually like the game's concept or not, I think what everybody has a problem with Advanced Warfare for is that it toppled the dominoes to go the other direction in regards to how the rest of the games are going to be. Because look what games you got after the fact. You know, Infinite Warfare, which who played that game?
I will say, like, I didn't play that game, but I would have liked to, simply for the fact that like the movements were exactly the same as Black Ops 3.
Yeah, and you enjoyed Black Ops 3.
And I really love Black Ops 3. Like, Black Ops 3 is probably like one of my top tier games.
Wow. That
despite the advanced movement.
I'm calling that a hot take. I'm sorry. Did I even go? Oh, I'm muted. Shit. I'm muted. Anyway.
You're muted. What?
There we go.
Oh,
I muted the sound pad.
At least it wasn't piping.
Yeah, I
yeah, Infinite Warfare, I think I played twice.
But I opened up the campaign because I think I had no internet, so I was just like, all right, let me see.
Yeah.
Got bored in 10 minutes. So.
But everybody got that game just so they can get COD 4 remastered.
Yep, and they knew it too. Like they knew exactly what they were doing. Oh yeah, because they can say, oh yeah, everybody bought Infinite Warfare. Yeah, how many people actually played Infinite Warfare? Everyone wanted to play MWR. So
yeah,
which I definitely played a bunch of. So
yeah. All right, well, let's wrap it up there. Like I said, we're all looking forward to that, and will probably be one of our games when it comes out that we'll be playing on a regular basis. But before I wrap up the show, I do want to just go to Bobby to give some updates on the show. So take it away.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff. It was our first live broadcast, and I think it went pretty well, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing fucked up. So,
yeah.
You know.
So I just wanted to give a few. I just wanted to give a few technical updates. Since I was kind of handling that. So main one, obviously, we're switching to live. That's going to be our I think idea going forward, because one, it's going to be easier and actually require less time for editing and everything else. So the idea is for everything to do it live. Still going to work some things out with it. As our first one, I think it went okay. Could definitely do some work on the technical side of things, but otherwise it went really well. And obviously we're changing the format of our podcast, getting rid of the quick picks. Zach's segments will return as well whenever he decides to show up. So he'll be back with that, obviously, in case you missed his staying and stuff like that. But we've been talking about changing the podcast form for a little bit now, because I think we've kind of outgrown it. We want to have more fruitful discussion, and the idea with going live is that once viewership starts to increase and everything like that, we'd love to hear from anybody who's watching in the chat and everything else. And we'll be working on donation stuff. We'll have that all set up probably by the next week. So people can donate and have some of their burning questions answered, or give their hot takes if they want to. I'll have the hot take button ready for you. So the current idea really is to live stream and then have it up on YouTube probably the following day. And as well on YouTube, I've also spent all of yesterday uploading all of our episodes to Spotify, Apple, Google, really wherever you listen to your podcast. It is now there. It should be all there by now, all 25 episodes, and it'll be 26 tomorrow. So you can listen to that, and then that will go up the following the live broadcast alongside the YouTube upload, and that'll be part of the workflow. And I think that's what we're going to do going forward. We are talking about some expansion shows. We've been saying that since like episode 5, but we are talking about it, and we're going to figure it out. And the only update we can really give about that at the moment is that it will be out when it is out. That is really where we're at the moment. But I think we like this format a lot better, a lot more freeform, a lot of more fruitful discussion. So I'm looking forward to this moving forward, and hopefully anybody who's watching or even listening, you will enjoy it as well.
Yeah, I think from my standpoint it was a lot better. So we'll see if this sticks. But for now, that is all. If you want to reach us, we are on Twitter at ComePlayNetwork. You can tweet us there, and that's where all of our updates are, and we will be tweeting out that we're going live or whatever. So Brendy is on that. But for us, we will see you next time on episode 27 of the Come Play Podcast.
Peace.